So it was a big weekend for SMU football and basketball, I'll add. And we'll talk about some of the recruiting angles of all of that. But do want to lead off with the news of a commitment as Rob Likens went out to the state of California to get this commitment out of the junior college ranks. A lost art in today's day and age of the transfer portal. But Link Rhodes, a Delta College wide receiver, fast one, 10.59 100-meter dash, flipped his commitment on Sunday from Arizona State to SMU. The Mustangs beat out the Sun Devils, another college football playoff team, for his commitment. And look, this is a prospect that SMU quietly got in for an official visit this past weekend, and he gave them his commitment and ended up going public on Sunday. He caught 46 passes for 607 yards and 4 scores in this past season at Delta College. 13.2 yards per catch. Also had San Diego State, Wyoming, Sacramento State, New Mexico, Louisiana Tech, and others. So this is definitely an under-the-radar commitment, but at nearly 6'2", 200 pounds, multiple years of eligibility remaining, and a 10.59, I think this is one of those things where, people forget about what I think some of these prospects in the junior college ranks can be if they pan out. And SMU has had some success going into the junior college ranks with guys like Danny Gray. Now, Danny's not the comp here, but they do have speed where I think you see Link Rhodes' game kind of be a little bit similar. Is you look at a guy like Brandon Ayuk, who Rob Likens coached at Arizona State, funny enough, and now is one of the best receivers in the NFL. And that's kind of the comp here. This is if you go and scroll Link Rhodes' Instagram or Twitter, I mean, he is yoked up. Like, he is going to immediately be one of the guys in that wide receiver room that jumps out at you physically. So the thing now will be getting him up to speed on the playbook, getting him ready to play for this season. But he's a safe addition from the standpoint of you can add him to a room with Jordan Hudson. You can add him to a room with Romello Brinson on the outside and let him, go for it. And really, from what I understand, just talking with some people around his recruitment, a kid that is going to add some toughness to that wide receiver room. And Rob Likens, he needs these guys to pan out this year. He needs Jordan Hudson. He needs Romello Brinson and Link Rhodes to pan out, because this is a passing attack that without Brashard Smith is going to have to step up. And that's a lot of the playmakers around this offense. They're going to have to step up. So you add a guy with 10.59 verified speed. I mean, that's a guy that can roll. So I like this addition. Going to be under the radar overall, of course, but anytime you can flip a guy who is committed to a college football playoff team, which, again, weird to say about Arizona State, but that's something that is the reality. That's what he brings to the table is, he does have some big schools that went after him and liked what they saw. And so they went out west in the Cali JUCOs and plucked him. So Link Rhodes is somebody that SMU will need to get up to speed very quickly. I am not sure right now if he is a spring or summer guy as far as enrolling. So we'll update you guys at On the Pony Express about that. But a recruitment that was pretty cut and dry. They got him in for a visit. He really liked it after committing to Arizona State just a week or so ago, and decided to flip his commitment and head to SMU. So Rob Likens gets a much-needed boost of speed. And I think everybody can agree that really outside of Moochie Dixon, you really didn't – I mean, Keyshawn Smith can roll, but Moochie was kind of viewed as that burner in that room. They don't have a guy who can really fly on the outside. And you lose Roger Daniels, you lose Jake Bailey in the slot. And, of course, you add some speed in Dalen Singleton and Jalen Cooper and others, but they needed a boost of speed, and that's what Link Rhodes brings to the table. So I'm intrigued to see how he pans out. Another thing, too, is SMU can go through the spring, watch this room, see where it stands, and then decide if they're going to go after another prospect in this space and maybe address the room again through the transfer portal. That's something that they can still do. That window in the spring is certainly there. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. That is another addition to this wide receiver room that, adds Dalen Singleton and Jalen Cooper as early enrollees from the high school ranks, and then Carterius Brown and Isaiah Robertson come in this summer and jump into the room. So a lot of competition, a lot of different players that need to step up in this room for that group to be successful this year. Kevin Jennings, they addressed the offensive line. They really went out and continued to kind of upgrade it in a sense. I really like what Addison Nichols is going to bring. They have some guys like Zion Nelson and Josh Bates that you really hope pan out and give you something. You have some key returners, Logan Parr, Savion Byrd, PJ Williams. They have a lot of competition of younger guys in that room. So you hope for SMU that they figure that out. But the wide receiver room is a room that needs to step up and raise its game, as does the running back room, of course, that we'll be watching closely to see how those guys do. And SMU can decide from there if they go out and address those positions in the spring. Now, we'll see if they do that, but that is kind of why you saw them toy around with the idea of going after certain guys at wide receiver and certain guys here and there at running back, but they didn't go all in. They want to see what happens in the spring. They also don't want to back the truck up for somebody that they are unsure of. That was something that, schools around the country, I think, are dealing with that as that last push for guys that can get paid a bunch of money before rev share and kind of, game the system a little bit. That's schools around the country that are kind of taking that approach. It's kind of what SMU did here. They retained pretty much everybody that they wanted to, and that is a big deal and is never going to be talked about enough, no matter what school it is that retains most of its talent, and then kind of has like just a solid portal class. Fans are always going to say, "Oh, I wish it was top 10," but that is just kind of the day and age we live in. But it says a lot about SMU when they can go out and keep pretty much their entire roster that they wanted to. So, look, spring practice is on the horizon. Things are getting close to basketball for, you guys needing to book your trips to Charlotte for that. SMU pretty much a shoo-in to make the ACC tournament, which would be a big deal in year one. And you guys should be looking your best, which is why I want to remind you guys that we still have our partnership with our friends at Roback, RHOBACK.com. Use code PonyExpress20 for 20% off your order at Roback.com. First-time customers only. You get the hoodie, you get the pullover, you get the polo. I'm telling you, it is quite the spread that they have right now. And I'll remind you guys, it's not just SMU gear. The collection for the men's side of things, or our lady listeners, is pretty incredible, and it's worth going out and using that promo code for 20% off, Pony Express 20. They just dropped their desert golf collection as well, kind of perfectly timed for the Phoenix Waste Management Open, the People's Open that is coming up this week with the Super Bowl weekend coming up. So make sure you guys check out our friends at Roback as well, and they'll take care of you with a great feeling fabric and all the things to make sure you look good for all the SMU events you have in your life.